I laughed at my husband's funeral. Everyone thought I'd lost it from grief. His mother actually gasped and called me disgraceful. Benjamin's brother Dan stood up like he was going to escort me out, but I couldn't stop laughing. See, Benjamin had this thing about being prepared for everything. Emergency funds, backup generators, 3 different insurance policies, the works. He even had a binder labeled "When I Die" that he updated quarterly. His family thought it was morbid. I thought it was sweet. 3 weeks before he died, cancer finally winning after 18 months of fighting. He sat me down at our kitchen table. He looked exhausted but determined. "I made a video for the funeral," he said. "Something to help you through it. Promise me you'll have them play it." I promised. I figured it was some heartfelt goodbye message about our 12 years together, maybe some stories about our dog Biscuit, advice for moving forward, the kind of thing that would make everyone cry but feel healing. The funeral director, a nervous young guy named Tim, handed me a flash drive that morning before the service started. "Your husband left very specific instructions," he said. "He wanted this played exactly 20 minutes into the service, right after his brother speaks." Dan's eulogy was painfully generic. Talked about Benjamin's success at the software company, his love of hiking, barely mentioned me at all. When he finished, Tim nervously walked to the front and set up the projector. The video started normal enough. Benjamin sitting in our living room in his favorite green chair, looking tired but smiling. He was wearing the ridiculous Hawaiian shirt I bought him as a joke. "By the time you're watching this, I'll be gone," he said. "And I need to tell you something I should have said years ago." My heart dropped. What secret had he been keeping? The room went completely silent. You could hear people shifting in their seats. "The life insurance policy? The one for $500,000 that my mother keeps asking about?" He paused, and I swear he was trying not to smile. "I changed the beneficiary last month." His mother Sandra actually stood up. She'd been calling me weekly for 6 months about that policy, asking when we'd discuss the disbursement. I watched her face light up, thinking he'd finally given it to her like she'd been demanding since his diagnosis. But Benjamin kept talking. "I left everything to the animal shelter on Oak Street, the one where we got Biscuit 7 years ago." He was grinning now. "Because I knew my family would fight over that money like vultures at a buffet. They've been circling since the day I got diagnosed." Dan's face went red. Sandra put her hand over her mouth. Benjamin's sister Jennifer walked out immediately, heels clicking on the tile. "Mom, you asked me for $50,000 to help with your mortgage even though you own your house outright. Dan, you pitched me your crypto investment scheme from my hospital bed. Jenny tried to get me to co-sign a loan 2 days after my second chemo treatment." The room was dead silent except for someone's uncomfortable cough. Then Benjamin looked directly into the camera, and his expression softened completely. "But you," he said, and I knew he was talking to me. "You never once asked about the money. Not once in 18 months. You asked about my pain levels. You asked what I wanted for dinner. You asked if I was scared." I felt tears starting, but I was also starting to smile because this was so perfectly Benjamin. "You worked double shifts at the hospital to cover our bills when I couldn't work. You sold your car so I could do that experimental treatment. You told your own mother no when she asked you to convince me to change my will." I'd forgotten about that. My mom had called 6 months ago, testing the waters. I'd hung up on her. "So here's what I actually did," Benjamin continued. "That life insurance, going to dogs who need homes. But my savings account, the one you don't know about because I opened it before we met." He paused for effect. "There's $340,000 in there. Password is Biscuit 2019. It's all yours. You earned it by being the only person who loved me instead of my money." That's when I started laughing. Full body, can't breathe, tears streaming down my face, laughing because he was still taking care of me, still protecting me, still being the most thoughtful person I'd ever known, even from beyond the grave. "Use it for whatever you want," he said. "Travel, new car, that pottery class you keep talking about, or just keep working at the hospital because you actually love it. I don't care. It's yours." The video ended with him blowing a kiss at the camera. Sandra walked out without a word, Dan following behind her. About 15 people from Benjamin's side of the family left immediately. The ones who stayed were crying too, but smiling. Tim, the funeral director, approached me afterward, looking worried. "Was that okay?" he asked. I was still laughing, wiping my eyes. "It was perfect," I said. "It was so perfectly Benjamin." I checked the account that night. $340,000, exactly like he said. There was also a note in the account description for my wife, who stayed when everyone else was just waiting for me to die. "I'm getting that dog from the shelter next week. They're naming their new wing after Benjamin. His mother hasn't called since."